Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Chatverse. I'm Jennifer,
I'm Katie.
and we are back for our second video or episode, depending on if you're listening to this as a podcast, which we announced last time we're going to turn some of our discussion videos into, or if you're watching us on YouTube. Hello, you see our faces now.
Hello. We're here. You get to
So,
look at us.
yes. In this video today, we're going to reminisce about how the snow was in Ohio in the late 90s and early 2000s because the date we are filming this, February 4th, we just got done with a major snowstorm in Northeast Ohio. And so
A
it just made us start
lizard.
to think about what happened when we were little with snow and a lot of
Mhm.
different things revolving around it. So let's get into that discussion. So like I said, we're going to be talking about the snow and things revolving around snow in the late 90s into the early 2000s here in Ohio, maybe more specifically in Northeast Ohio, where we both grew up, because it's a lot different now than it was before. And it's kind of funny that I feel like some people forgot how it used to be. And there's some people who, like, of course, weren't born yet, so they weren't around.
They're like, you did that?
hmm
What?
So the major thing is that the snowfall in Ohio has been pushed in months, meaning
Mhm.
we're not getting snow until like January, really the end, or in February, and that's what we're getting dumped on. When growing up, we really had like December, we would have white Christmases. We would have
Mhm.
Christmas Eves where we had to literally dig ourselves out to get to a relative's house.
Yeah, it would
That's
look
not
like
the
you were
case
inside a snow
anymore.
globe. You would even have snow for Thanksgiving in some occasions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of times what would happen is right when Halloween ends, there would be the very next day you'd have snow on your pumpkin outside.
Do you remember there was one or a few Halloweens that it actually snowed. It was snowing during Halloween. It was like a long, long time
I
ago, but
remember the very freezing weather we would have where we'd have to bundle up so much. It was
yeah, and
insane
you
that
wouldn't
we
even
didn't
like
even
see
get to see our
anything.
costume.
So
Snow, I'm trying to remember. I know it definitely sticks in my head the day after Halloween.
I think it was, like, very, like it's a handful. I think it started, like, late in the night of Halloween, I think.
Yeah, that's probably what it was.
Yeah, but nonetheless, we would get it end of October and November, so
Yeah.
now we have to wait because we had a very green and brown Christmas
Yeah.
this year, and
There
then
was
got
an exception where in 2020, December 1st, we got hit so bad with snow
mhm.
that
It was like
trees snapped,
it was like
bushes
24
flung
inches in
over.
one day or something like that.
It was a massive snowstorm that we had, but it looked incredible, and I went outside with my GoPro. So yeah, like we got dumped with a lot of snow that year, and it was in December, but really we're seeing like the cold temperatures happening, but it's
Mhm.
nothing compared to like when we were little with the snow. Like,
No.
it's depressing now that we're not really getting snow these sections of the year anymore.
Mhm.
And
Yeah,
then
you
we're
have to
getting it
wait until
now.
after. You gotta wait till after the holidays
And you want to see
anymore.
like the lights outside hitting the snow. And you want to have
Yeah.
that atmosphere. And it's not happening.
Nope,
Not
not
happening.
anymore.
So what's something for you that a memory or
Well,
something has changed?
we were just talking about it, the blizzard that we had, they would still send us to school. Nowadays, they just call people off the day
Mhm.
before it's, like, happening. Um, for us too, we had to still get up at 6 in the morning, day of, and watch it scroll across the bottom of the screen, and it goes by alphabetical order, so we had to
Mhm.
watch until it got to our school, um, well, our,
Yeah.
like, district where we were at the city,
We didn't
and,
have that speedy.
No, they just text
Accessibility where someone texts you.
yeah, they just text it. And like I said, it's usually like the day before, and it's like we had to wait till day of. And like
Yeah.
sometimes you'd be like watching and watching and you'd see all these other districts being off and you're like, "Oh, I hope we're off." And then you get yours comes up and it's a delay
Well,
or
then
yours
you get
doesn't even come
mad
up.
because then you spent the time getting ready, packing your lunch, getting your clothes laid out, going to bed early. What if you
Mhm.
would have known the night before, you could have stayed up late and not done any of that stuff.
Right, you wouldn't have had to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning and look at the
No.
TV and go, "Am I going to school today?" Because it's a literal blizzard outside.
Mhm.
And there was so many times that they made us go to school. They didn't even when it was freezing temperatures, they still would make us go to school. They would just be like, "You're not going outside for recess today. You're having it indoors."
Mhm.
That's what they would do to us.
Yeah,
Like,
now it became such a big thing of well, kids are waiting out for the bus or there's kids that are walking and they're like there's all these situations that they'll put forth when what's happening though is a lot of these freezing temperatures are at the beginning of the morning, and
mhm,
then later on during the day, it's okay where then
yeah,
you could have them be sent to school. I know
right, just
I
have a
was in a
delay.
situation last week
Mhm,
where I was super upset that we got a cold day. I didn't even realize that weather was coming because I was so busy in my life. I wasn't checking the weather every day.
yeah,
And I was involved with painting a set for a school's musical, and
mhm,
those kids were in tech week. They actually missed a rehearsal because it was so cold. They had to close. These kids were like, because we said, oh, well, they won't, might not be able to get a ride back. We didn't bring them back in, but that was such a disappointment because of this cold day. The warning was done later on during the day that I
yeah, at
felt
like
like it was
11
such
in
an
the morning.
unnecessary move. Of course,
Yeah,
because we were adults, we were allowed to get in and like work on stuff when the kids were not there, and they just had the kids stay after school the next day and just rehearse again before their night performance. But that was
mhm,
such a big letdown when I feel like it was unnecessary. Yeah, I know in some areas it was like -10 something with wind chill, but after a while that was done with.
yeah,
Um, the snow
I
is a
know.
different story, but
It was like they coulda just had a delay and had the kids going and they used the excuse of, "Well, people are standing at the bus stop. People are walking." Well, we had to do the same thing.
mhm.
Like, we had to walk to school. We had to go to the bus stop and wait. They
Yeah.
didn't care. I mean, it was almost like I was having the conversation. I was almost like they cared more when we were in school about attendance, like statewide attendance, than they did about our safety. Like, they didn't care. They just were like, "You need to be in school."
It is a really weird thing when you think about it because they like you said, they made us wait. Now
Mhm.
you're finding out 4:30, 7 o'clock at night, which in a way is great because you
Yeah.
know you don't have to deal with all that stuff then.
Mhm.
Um, but
But it's
yeah,
like yeah, it makes almost waiting on the news be, like, irrelevant
and the other thing
anymore.
too is like you said, there were so many days though where in high school it was snowing so bad out in the morning, they forced us to go in and we
Mhm.
almost couldn't even make it up to the high school because
Yep.
of how thick the roads were, they weren't clearing it. So those were
Mhm.
situations where we did not get busing at our high school.
Nope.
Um, some districts will do
They
it.
just
We were
you
a
had to do
district that did
RTA.
not. So we had to have all these parents driving up. That's a lot of vehicles that an accident can happen. That's when they should have been calling it off, but they weren't.
Right, they didn't, and then they would get mad at us, a bunch of us, for being late to first period. Well, it's
Like,
like,
well, the
"Did you look
parking
outside?"
lot is like you can barely even pull in without sliding. What do you want from
Right.
us?
And it's like, then all the seniors and stuff are parked in the parking lot, especially the front parking lot. The
Mm,
administration was always parked in, like, the back parking lot
mhm.
and the side one. It's probably totally different now because the school we went through, um,
It's gone.
they knocked down and rebuilt a whole new one, so, I
Oh,
mean, it
that
needed to be
the parking lots, it's still a circus over there.
yeah.
People
I
don't know
can
how to,
imagine.
that's a whole separate conversation, but people don't know how to design school buildings or parking lots or properties anymore. That's a whole other story we can get on a rant on, but
Yeah. Um,
anyways.
but yeah, they would be like, "You're late to first period." All these teachers would be standing outside their door because, like, their whole entire class wouldn't be there, and it's like, did you look outside? You're lucky I'm even here."
Yeah. Um, so another thing is the kids nowadays will get in trouble if they go play in the snow at recess. I think that's a bunch of garbage because this is a time when they can go outside and play and have fun. But the thing though is part of it is because these kids are not coming prepared to do so and they have to deal with the aftermath. When we
Mhm.
were little, we would bring our boots and we'd have tennis shoes we'd change in. We would
Yep.
have like either snow pants or those swishy pants that we'd pull over our jeans. We
Mhm.
had our parents would pack us extra clothes in case maybe we got sick at school, we needed to change, or
Yeah.
just the factor that if you're gonna go outside and get wet, you have this extra change of clothes. We
Mhm.
were allowed to play in the snow at the elementary school I was at. We would go outside every day and build snowmen. We
Mhm.
would, as a whole grade level, make this gigantic snowball that actually made it into the yearbook.
Yeah.
I believe the one year they did
Mhm.
that stuff. Now the kids will get in trouble. They're not allowed to step foot. Well, like I said, because they're not bringing anything to change in. So of course the kids are
Yeah.
gonna have wet jeans, not to sit on their wet butt all day.
Oh my god. I
But no,
remember
they will they'll get in
pants.
trouble if
The
they
snow
do.
pants back when we were kids, they weren't just snow pants, they were, like, overall things.
Mhm. Or my substitute would be like the athletic swishy pants that were a little bit water repellent, but you put
Yeah.
them over like your jeans and it'd be kind of okay. But
Yeah.
it sucked because that was such a cool part. Like at school, they would do that. And of course, a few kids
Mhm.
had to ruin it for everybody or something.
Or people are just too soft nowadays, like, they don't play outside. Um,
Mhm.
where it was always like, our generation, you fell down, it was, "Walk it off. You're fine.
Mhm.
Just walk it off." Like, you
Some
didn't
of it
make a
is they
big
don't
deal
let
about
the kids be kids, and then people
it. No.
wonder why kids are misbehaving in the classrooms.
Right. And it's like, you get dirty, you can get cleaned up. Like, that's the normal thing, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like, you just and it's on the parents' part too. You just send the right clothes with your
Yeah.
kids.
Nowadays you've got kids showing up in shorts and they're wearing their like Adidas slide-ons in the school day
Yeah.
or their Crocs or they're just coming to school in a hoodie when they really should be wearing a winter jacket.
Oh, yeah, I was out, walking, uh, this dog for a client, and, it was right over on the road where the high school and middle school is, and this girl was walking home, and all she had was just a sweatsuit on and, like, tennis shoes, and it freezing cold out, and I'm like, "What are you doing?
That's what I
Like,
said.
where's your
It's
coat?"
younger. I don't know.
I'm like, "Where is your why don't you have what are you doing?"
Yeah.
I'm like, "I don't understand." They think, like, it's cool to not wear a coat or something.
Oh, definitely. Definitely.
It's weird. It's very strange because I'm
Mhm.
like, just there's fashionable coats. Like, you don't have to get an
Mhm.
extremely puffy one. Just wear something to be warm. Like, what?
Oh my god. I
It's
had this
not like,
coat,
oh my God, do you remember those
the
like
poofy coats.
snowsuits when we were like really, really little and they were like really puffy? It's like in Christmas Vacation where they're like,
You mean Christmas Story?
yeah, Christmas Story. Yeah, not
No, I know
Vacation.
what you're talking about. Yeah, they were so big and bulky, and I don't know if they even sell stuff like that anymore.
Mm-mm. Yeah, and it was always like your mom would always put a scarf on you, and you always had to have gloves and a hat, and then
Mhm.
have the hood up, and it's like a whole thing. But we played outside, so
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of the kids are. I feel like that's another thing we'd say that's different. Um,
Even in the
in the late
summer,
90s, early 2000s is that people would be going outside playing in the snow and they're really not anymore.
no. We would build snowmen, Um,
I feel like you don't
or
see a lot of snowmen like built on people's like in their yards anymore either.
nope, not
Everyone's like,
anymore.
I'm gonna stay in and play on my Xbox.
I don't want to get wet. It's cold out. It's wintertime.
Mm-hmm.
That's what happens.
Okay, everyone, so we hope that you enjoyed this discussion about some different things in Ohio that have changed over time with the snow. You know, things that happen in school, things that happen outside of school, all that type of stuff. So, how about in the
Yeah.
comments below? Let's start a discussion possibly of what are some other things we might have missed or things that you've noticed changed over time with like the snow, maybe even in your state, wherever you're at, or in Ohio, if you've also agreed that you can tell that the stuff we talked about has changed. So, yeah,
Yeah.
let's comment below about that. Make sure you
Let us,
like, comment, and subscribe.
yeah. Let us know if your school valued attendance more than safety, or if it was just us who had to risk our lives
You
to go to
gotta
school.
drive now.
Do you remember? This is random too. Um, I remember one of the uh, transformers blew, and like half of the high school, the lights were off, and they still made us stay at school. It
That
was like
happened in
junior year.
elementary school. We
Hmm.
lost power and they actually bused us to the middle school.
Yeah, or they would just make us stay there in the dark and work on things.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
It's
yeah.
like, oh well,
Oh, well, at the
it's
new
night
school, that's
outside.
happening too, I've been told.
Oh my
I've been
god.
told that there's been like stuff has been happening where the whole school lost power. And there's been surges and different crap. So yeah, it's still going on.
The worst is if you went to go to the bathroom at that time, and then it was like pitch black.
Oh, no, 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 no. What the worst part is being stuck in an auditorium where there's no lights and windows.
Oh yeah, no, it's
Did
pitch
I tell
black.
you that?
No.
Yeah, when I was working in the fall at the high school,
Oh yeah, you did, and
yeah,
they were like, "Oh, shine this down here."
yeah,
Yeah.
there were surges during the day, and something happened to the control panels in the auditorium. And so
Mhm.
randomly, when we were in there rehearsing with kids, and I'm in the lighting booth with another teacher, we're up there, and just slowly, it was like a movie. Doom, doom, doom. Everything
Everything's
just shuts off once
burning
at a
up.
time. It is pitch black, but the light in the lighting booth stayed on. I don't know if it was on a different circuit. So me, for some reason, I had a headlamp flashlight in my backpack. Don't know why. But I went down and I gave it to the kids. They're like, let's still rehearse with this flashlight. They were using it to look at some of the control panels on the stage, but
Mhm.
good
Yeah.
times. That was another fun story at the. You got a bonus round, guys.
Yeah. Just power outages, but stay at school, it's fine.
Anyways, okay, everyone, comment, do all of that, subscribe, and thank you for joining us in the Chatverse.
See you next time.